down 95 South, 12-hour drive to the Rocky Ridge factory in Athens, Georgia. So it's strange when you meet somebody who, for the first time, and you have that feeling that you've known them all your life. But as soon as I met Howard, we started planning on doing a trip together. We just didn't know when it was going to happen.
So Gus and I started putting this little trip together a couple months ago. I threw out an idea to Gus that, hey, I got a house in Florida that my wife and I have been coming to for a number of years in the area. This little town called Punta Gorda in Florida on the west coast, Charlotte Harbor. And it's got some great fishing and great hunting. And it was a place that I wanted to really share with Gus because we love it down here so much.
And we were going to be passing right by Athens, Georgia. So I told Howard, why don't we stop into the Rocky Ridge factory and say hello.
Rocky Ridge is one of the premier upfitters in the country doing lift kits, suspension kits, exhaust systems, specializing custom wheels, tires, really making a bad boy truck out of a new or a lightly pre-owned vehicle. The owners are just some really wonderful people, and I think they have been committed for 30 plus years in doing this kind of work, and it's clear with you know, their operations that cover General Motors, Ford, Chrysler, and some of the foreign manufacturers, that they're doing, you know, several thousand, up to 4,000 conversions a year.
What I saw was how much pride was put into the work that these guys were doing there, and I left there feeling really good about driving that Rocky Ridge truck and knowing that I had a team of people behind me like that. So we left the Rocky Ridge plant in Georgia and headed down to Lake Placid, Florida to do a hunt with two of Howard's clients, Matt and Steve Herfield. And one thing I learned about Howard is he's the Energizer Bunny. This guy is full throttle all the time. He had a plan for us, and I didn't realize what type of a marathon I was getting myself into. So as soon as we arrived in Lake Placid, it was get out of the truck, get something to eat, and get out in the field. This thing is sick. This thing is sick. I thought the tires on the Rocky Ridge were big. Now these guys had high-tech equipment. I'm talking thermal imaging, night vision stuff, you know, stuff I've never dealt with before. It was cool. I felt like RoboCop. We had so much stuff on, but it was so interesting that it didn't even matter that we didn't see any hogs that night because of the storm. It's pretty amazing. They got thermal detecting scope on that AR rifle, and you could see it's amazing what it'll show. It was incredible just putting this stuff on and seeing how it worked. I mean, we saw rabbits and owls, and I'm just sitting there going, man, you don't have a chance. If a hog had walked out, I knew we were going to get one. But unfortunately, that didn't happen. So after about an hour's sleep, we got back in the truck and headed down to Punta Gorda to Howard's house, changed real quick, showered up, got out on the boat, and our first day of fishing was underway. Bruno, park the truck. So we just left Lake Placid, Florida. What a hog hunt.
Pig hunt.
All night.
No pigs.
But we did have a good time.
We had a great time.
We had all that thermal imaging stuff. That was cool stuff.
Man, and Matt and Steve cooked us some steaks, and whew, that was probably the best part of the evening, but
Now we're here in Punta Gorda. This is like a marathon with you.
Just,
you know, I always wondered about like being around another guy from New York who's gonna have my energy, but you're burying me, man.
I said, listen.
I'm older than you. You gotta respect me just a bit, all right?
We only pig hunted last night. We're fishing this afternoon. We gotta figure out what we're gonna do tonight.
We're dancing. You said we had to go through that Greek dancing
maybe
place.
after we sleep.
My name's Captain Rhett Morris. We're in sunny Southwest Florida. What we basically do is serve as a booking agent for everybody coming in from out of town that wants to get on a good fishing trip with some good action. Try to make sure that they get with people who are going to take good care of them, show them a good time on the water.
Whoa, hold on a second. We got to stop this a second. Everybody else looks so professional. I look like a bum. I got a Home Depot bucket, a cut-off shirt.
That's perfect.
What's up with that, man?
That's totally
look at you guys.
You live in Sullivan County, don't you?
Yes, I do. I do live in Sullivan County. Nobody understands that Sullivan County, New York is redneck.
Well, you'll fit in perfect down here because I'm just a redneck with clothes on that make me look like I know what I'm doing.
I hear you.
We're going to be fishing out of a 24-foot Tidewater. It's a new hull for this area. It's manufactured in the Carolinas. It's powered with a 250 Yamaha 4-stroke offshore series, all digital, excellent motor. We're running a T-top on this bay boat because it gets hotter than all holy hell down here, and there's nothing better than having a little shade to back up underneath when you're frying like a piece of bacon in the hot Florida sun.
Is it set up for the vertically challenged?
Absolutely.
Okay.
We're getting ready to make a 13-mile run across some heavy chop, but it's gonna be worth it. This always gets a bite. Lucky dooski. The other day when I was here, they showed themselves. I mean, we saw 5-6 fish rolling here right when we got here. Atta boy! The elusive Cobia Howard. You see that thing jump, man? That was sweet. Nice. Fish on, boys. Yep. 31 to the fork.
So this morning we're out for tarpon on Boca Grande Pass. We were out in this area yesterday and we're fishing for some cobia and goliath grouper. So this morning, man, we're out here first light and hopefully we get on a tarpon.
Yeah, we got only the serious are out at this hour of the day.
So we're up the next morning, out on another boat with Brian Ball, another friend of Howard's who's a captain on a boat, and we were gonna do some tarpon fishing, which I was pretty excited about since I've never caught a tarpon.
Dude, this, my friend, is mano a mano.
I hear you, man, I hear you. Howard hooked into a nice 100-pound tarpon, and I got to watch him fight him, and it was just an amazing thing. You know, I didn't get to land the fish. I didn't catch one myself, but it was great watching him land that fish.
We were fortunate enough to be the only boat to hook up, and I was the guy lucky enough to be holding the rod. And I was able to fight a nice 100-pound tarpon to the boat, which was quite a nice experience.
What do you think, Gus?
It's a monster, man. Big fish. How big do you think that is?
They get a lot bigger, they get a lot smaller, but it's a great size to catch.